Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com.
Muter, or Shogger, you're muted. I don't know why. Hold on a second. It says you're in the green room. There we are, buddy.
Just hang on. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
You got me now?
You betcha.
All right. Off to a good start. This might be a bit of a technical challenge here too, Steve, because my board just froze. The board that has all the sound that we need for the show tonight.
Interesting.
Just completely froze. I'm going to do the ad reads, and then I'll let Struds and Brownie chat a little bit while I reboot this thing and see if we can get it going.
Sounds good.
Welcome to Got Your Back, everybody. Hey, we're live, and stuff happens when you're live sometimes. Coming at you from our Adrenaline Diesel studio here, Edmonton's premier heavy-duty diesel truck and repair shop, specializing in powertrain tuning, performance, sales, parts, all kinds of stuff. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca. And as always, our program brought to you by the good people over at Play Alberta. Why choose Play Alberta? Well, ask any hockey fan who loves odds boosts, player props, same game parlays, slots, players who love the massive jackpots, or lottery players who can grab last minute tickets on the go. Deposit today, get a $50 free bet with code GYB10. Visit playalberta.ca. As we welcome in Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown. Okay, I'm just going to test my board here real quick. Let's see if it's working. No sound coming through there?
Negative.
All right, that is a problem, and it just froze again on me. So, okay, Struds, I got to reset my whole soundboard.
Go on.
So you and Brownie are going to exchange pleasantries for a minute, and people are just going to have to bear with however painful that's going to be. And I'm just going to reset my board here. So I'm going to mute my mic and reset this thing, and then I'll let you know when I'm back.
It's like you always text us. Failure to prepare is failing to prepare. No, what is it? Failing to prepare is the failure.
Is this a Strudism?
Two birds in a bush is worth three in the hand, or what's the saying, Brownie? Help me out here because he texts us all the time. Obviously, I don't read his texts.
Don't throw rocks when you live in a glass house. You want to just throw out anything here? We could do them all if you want.
Yeah.
Hey, but he isn't prepared. I think that's the bottom line. He's not prepared right now, Struds, and we are.
I appreciate that. I think that being a little...
I think that he was spending too much time golfing this afternoon in his simulator.
I got to say to him what I went one time. We were in a couples golf tournament once, and halfway through the round, one it was a couples, and the wife said to the husband, "For the amount of times you golf, I thought you would have been a lot better by now." So I think I'm going to throw that out to Shogger. For the amount of time you golf, Shogger. Can he hear us? I know that he's back.
Yeah, I can still hear you. Yeah, great job, Struds. You really ran with that well. Just 1 second. Just I got to see if the soundboard works here. We're having troubles with the Weiss Johnson sound box, and we cannot. Just let me check, and we'll just hang on 1 sec here.
Yeah, get no respect.
It's working. It's back, baby.
I can't tell. Was that Struds or was that Rodney Dangerfield? I can never tell the two of them apart.
Joining us on the program, Rodney Dangerfield. Okay, we're back and we are fixed. Okay, just to set up the show real quick. First segment, we'll talk some Oilers, some McDavid, some Crosby, that sort of thing. Takeaway segment, had a chance to catch up with Jesse Puljujarvi today. Had a little 5-6 minute chat with him. Talked a little bit about Oiler fans and what's going well for him. So that'll be in our second segment. We got Brownie Points, we got Struddy's World, and then we got Ask Us Anything as well. So for those joining us here on the live stream, get your questions in. Steve Taylor is on the board tonight.
Hey-o.
And he will gather. Hey, Steve, how you doing, pal?
Doing great.
Nice. Good to have you along, my friend. Steve will grab your comments and get those locked, loaded, and ready for our Ask Us Anything segment. But in the meantime, let's get to talking. Some Oilers in our breakdown, brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. The Cross Canada Clearout is here with the biggest deal of the year. $10,000 in discounts on 2024 Ram 1500 DS Warlocks. It's a fantastic truck, and that is only at your Alberta Ram Dealers. Highly recommend you go see your local dealership and check it out. Okay, a few things to discuss since we last gathered, gentlemen. We might as well pick up the power play discussion. Some of that news hit yesterday, where the Oilers rolled out some new power play setups at practice yesterday. I was down there today. Didn't see them work on it again today. But basically working in Skinner and Arvidsson, Ekholm and Bouchard spot a little bit here and there, guys. Brownie, I'm sure you heard the news yesterday after we had discussed it the night before. What was your take on the changes that Knobloch was trying out there, and what you think we'll see tomorrow night against the Pittsburgh Penguins?
I don't think we'll see any changes. I think they'll go back to what they were successful with. I think it was a message being sent to some of the players. It got them talking. It got the reporters asking them questions. You heard Leon saying, yeah, we've been pretty good for a while. I'm pretty sure that the five of us know what we're doing, and we'll be back together at some point. So to me, it's a message sent. But it's, I go with the same thing. You use the same power play units, but if the first unit's not getting it done, go with the second unit quicker. Or if the first unit has a bad power play, the next one that you get, start the second unit. But you don't change the power play. You just don't. These five guys have not forgotten how to play hockey. I love Ekholm. He's not Bouchard. There's no reason to have him on your top unit. So to me, it was just Chris Knobloch sending a message to his team and his power play guys saying, you need to be better. And that was it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it is a message being sent, but I think that he might carry it into the game just because I think it's not about that he doesn't believe in that top unit. They just need to be shell shocked out of their funk,
comfort zone
they're in. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Yeah, like just getting out of where they're at, and I believe in that group too because they've proven it for years. That they're good. But I just think it's more of just a shot in the arm of adrenaline, but by changing it up, and then you put everybody back together. So I stand by what I said the other night. I think that they will. So first, if I was a coach, I would do that for tomorrow night. But will Knobloch do it? I'm not sure, but I for sure would. I think it'd be a good move.
So the reason that my board froze was because I tried to load one last clip into it and there wasn't enough storage and it didn't like that. The reason I was adding a clip in because there was one thing that Chris Knobloch said yesterday that I think is the answer that we're looking for here, guys. So I'm going to try and find it here while I'm scanning through this. But I think what the answer is going to be is I think they're going to make changes to the power play after the first 45 or 50 seconds. We're going to see Zach Hyman go to the bench and Victor Arvidsson jump on the ice, or Jeff Skinner. We might see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think it's less likely that we see Nugent-Hopkins out and Skinner on, but I do believe we're going to see a flip-flop for the last 20, 30, 40 seconds of the power play, where Hyman is off, Arvidsson is on, Skinner is on, maybe Nuge comes off. I'm not even sure if they'll do the Ekholm-Bouchard thing, which they worked on. But I think here's why they did it at practice yesterday. I think if they plan on having those guys out on the ice together, even for the last 30 seconds of a power play, they wanted to give them a little bit of work together in practice yesterday, at least passing it around a little, figure out who's going to be where. And they wanted to test that out a little bit at practice yesterday. So, I alluded to this before the season even started. I'm not going to say if this happens that I'm right, because I don't think any of us would have guessed that the power play would have gone this cold. So I think eventually they've gotten here through necessity. But I think based on what Knobloch said today, guys, that might be some of what we see. And if you want to bear with me, I'm going to try and find this clip. Can you guys hear that right now?
Nope.
You can't hear that? Okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to play it live then. Basically, Knobloch said, I understand in the past, Tyson Barrie and Evan Bouchard would even flip-flop a little bit. Going even further back, Chason and Neal used to come on, spell each other off with those top guys. He talked about Hyman and Kane. So he pointed to instances where they've done that before, guys. And my sense is that's the way that they're going to lean for tomorrow.
I got no problem with that. Late in the power play, you switch them out. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we're just saying we would have taken everyone off, not just two guys late in a power play. I think if you're a minute 15 in and a whistle goes, you pull them all off. Because what you're doing is also taking away ice time from guys that are on your fourth line. Now, what is it? If Corey Perry's not on your power play anymore, how are you finding him more than 6 minutes a night? I mean, Adam Henrique, was supposed to be in your second unit at times too. If you don't put your second unit out there, you just keep Connor and Leon out with those two other players, you're taking away ice time from depth players. Where are you going to find that ice time? So to me, I would take the whole unit off and get your second unit out and give them a little love and let them feel good offensively about themselves.
When I played the Blackhawks, we had a couple terrible games, and we came in there after the one bad game, and Brian Sutter had kind of the top 6 and top 3 forwards on one list, and the rest of us on another list. And the top 6 weren't playing well. And he gave it to us about how bad we were playing. I think I averaged like maybe 8-10 minutes each, maybe a few more for the third line guys. He didn't, and he said the first top that this group A is not practicing, and he absolutely bagged the hell of us for for an hour. We got bag skated. I was so mad. I wanted to kill everyone in that first group before. I was so mad about it. And I was always wondering, like, why are you getting mad at us? We're not doing anything. Why are you punishing us? We're doing, maybe play me more, so at least there's a justification. So I'm with you, Brownie. When you look at it, why are you punishing guys they've done a pretty good job? Punish the guys that, not punish, but take away opportunity.
Hold them accountable.
People who aren't getting the job done.
Yep.
Like it sends the wrong message. So no disrespect to Connor and Leon. They're not getting it done. So why are you giving them more ice time rather than taking less? I don't understand it. Like, it's like, we're going to let's get after Perry. Corey Perry's not getting it done. Well, he's one of the only ones who's actually done pretty good on the power play. So yeah, I don't know. This is coming from a guy who was never in the top 6. So I got to clearly put that in there, but it's just frustrating. I never understood it.
Well, let's be honest. On the Oilers power play, it's Connor, Leon, and Bouchard that run their power play. Everything goes through them. Zach Hyman, he stands in front of the net. Sometimes he does not see the puck. He only sees the puck where they eventually give it to him. So if the power play isn't working, it's not on Zach Hyman that the power play is not working. And most times it's really not on Nuge. This is they play like a basketball half-court offense. Connor, Leon, and Bouchard move it around, and that's how they scored the goal last game. It went Connor to Bouchard to Leon to Connor, and he scored. And the other two guys just kind of stand there. I've been in that situation. I played with Mario. There's one night that he was skating around the Washington zone forever, and me and Bob Erie just like, hey, how you doing? Good. Hey, eventually he's probably going to pass us. He might not need us. But that's what it's like. So I agree with exactly what Strud said. Everything he said there was right, perfect.
Wow.
Show's over.
That might be.
Let's pack it up, everybody.
Wrap it up, man. Holy
what
snap.
more needs to be said?
Goodness sakes. We could actually, for the first time this year, you might have some positive brownie points coming your way tonight there, Struddy.
Take it.
Okay, we'll see what we see tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Moving on, a comment here from Brett B. says, I wish Knob would leave the 5v5 lines alone for a few games. So what we see in practice today, guys, the McDavid line stays the same. But for second day, Vasily Podkolzin elevated to the second line with Draisaitl and Victor Arvidsson. Jeff Skinner, again, off Leon Draisaitl's line, alongside Adam Henrique and Connor Brown. Now, that line has had some really good looks this year. Skinner, Henrique, and Brown. I think there were a few games where they were really good. So I don't know that it's so much an indictment on Skinner, but I don't know, Brownie, like this Skinner-Draisaitl combination has not been given any time to breathe at all. And you felt they had even had some better moments the other night. So does it feel... It feels like he's bouncing this guy around a fair amount and not giving that Arvidsson, Skinner, and Draisaitl line much of the way of patience.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I hadn't heard those lines till you just said it. I like everything about Podkolzin that he's brought, but I like him on my fourth line. In the summer, they talked about they needed to go find wingers for Leon Draisaitl. Is Arvidsson and Podkolzin better than anything that he played with last year? Leon's playing tomorrow night's game, if that's a line, with two wingers with 0 points on the season. I mean, here's your superstar you just gave 114 million or whatever it is to, and his two wingers in game 7 of the season or game 8, neither guy has a point. So no, that to me it makes no sense. Jeff Skinner, put him with Leon Draisaitl. Maybe it takes 10 games for them to find the chemistry they need. Jeff Skinner is a top 6 player. Leon needs to play with good hockey players, good to very good hockey players, but having two guys with no points on his line, I mean, this is not an improvement over what he had last year. And the one thing they said they needed to improve was finding Leon someone to play with. So I'm surprised. I'd be shocked if that was the line tomorrow night, and probably be a little disappointed that Podkolzin is playing ahead of Skinner with the second best player in the National Hockey League.
Where are you guys at with showing everyone's favorite hockey player, Adam Henrique, up beside Arvidsson and Draisaitl?
Who's at 3 and 4C?
Well, I knew you were going to say that. So, dude.
Noah Philp and Derek Ryan. Noah Philp and Derek Ryan. There you go. I just got Noah Philp called up. Now we got Henrique on the second line.
What about this? The janitor between Skinner and Brown.
The janitor?
They call him. That's what the Janmark's nickname is, I think.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke like the janitor from Rogers.
No,
we're just going to bring a guy out of the stands.
I'm not that funny tonight.
They can't do it, Struds. They just don't have the depth. Unless they're willing to move Nugent Hopkins off the top line and play that spot. I just don't see a pathway for Henrique getting onto the wing. They just don't have the depth at center this year, man. It's just not there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with Schauger there. I just Henrique has to be your number 3 center. I just don't understand why. I thought Skinner, Leon, and Arvidsson did have some good shifts last game. I mean, the best shift of the whole game, one of the best shifts of the whole game for the Oilers was the shift. The 3 of them were out there where Skinner could have had a hat trick. He had all those shots where, I mean, just one side to the other, back and forth. He was unbelievable that shift. So let them play together and find chemistry, because Podkolzin's not going to be your number two winger in December or January. He's not. So why not get Skinner some reps playing with Leon Draisaitl?
Once again, a little flip of partners for Darnell Nurse back to the left side, and Troy Stetcher now on his right side. This is a daily game of musical defensemen flip-flopping guys in and out. Knobloch even alluded to the idea that, the potential for Kulak and Nurse to be a pairing if Nurse can play the right side. It's just, he admits they haven't found it. They're searching for it. It hasn't stuck. And it's quite frankly because they have 2 number 6 or 7 defensemen and a young guy who maybe is a 5. We're not sure yet. They just don't have the caliber of personnel to put into that spot, Struddy. So that's why we're seeing the musical chairs that we're seeing next to Darnell Nurse. And here we are this number of games into the season, and nothing has really come close to sticking yet.
Yeah, no, I think what I'd do is I would just rotate Stetcher and Dermott in that spot, and then just leave Kulak and Emberson in that pairing. I would just leave him in there. I understand what he's trying to do. He doesn't want anyone to sit out too long. And I get that. As someone who's in that spot, I want to play too. But you got to give Emberson the best chance to grow, right? And he's got to play to do that. Find out what you got here. You give him a chance. 3 periods isn't a chance, or 3 games. You got to give him more time than that.
Well, what you're also seeing is, and Schauger, you just said it, they have 3 guys that right now haven't shown that they can play in the roles that they've been signed to play in. I think Stetcher is probably your best shot right now playing in your second pairing, but he's not a second pairing defenseman. Never has been in his career, never would be on any other team. It's just he's there because they have no other choice. I think you have to have Darnell on the left side. I just think he's a better player on that side. And there's no way they can put Nurse and Kulak together, because then you're only playing 4 defensemen. Because unless they're going to dress all 3 of them and play as a threesome in their third pairing, they're not good enough right now to play together. So I understand what you're saying with Emberson. Emerson's big. I think defending he's fine. I think this is a lot of pressure. Canadian market, playing on a team that's got Leon and Connor and Hyman and Nuge. You make a mistake, everybody talks about it. This is tough. And I think that he's going to have to learn how to play through mistakes, have a thick skin, and then he'll become a better hockey player. But I'm not sure, being in San Jose where there's zero expectations and coming up here, I'm not sure anybody is ever prepared for it, let alone a kid with just 31 games to his NHL career.
Yeah, I think Emerson needs to play. I think they need to stop taking him out of the lineup and just rotate those other two. I agree with Struds. Keep him on that third pairing. Let him get his feet underneath him on that third pairing, but keep him in the lineup. Like he's a young defenseman. He's developing. He's got the best chance of working his game into a place where he can actually handle that, Struds. Maybe sometime in the next 10, 15 games, he can work his game into a place where he's got the confidence and the comfort level to be in that spot next to Nurse. But if he's only playing every second game because he keeps getting yanked, they're not giving it enough of a chance. He's got the best chance. He's young. He's got to play.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, except for maybe 10 to 15 games. Like, I don't think that someone just finds their game in a month, right? I think it takes time. And so I'm not sure he can be a second pairing defenseman all year, but I'm hoping he can be a third pairing defenseman for the year, right? That's kind of where I'm at. And I think that, again, I've been in that spot where you're not sure if you're going to play and it's hard. You got to get it just in a rhythm and just playing. You're playing all the time, and it's just like, I'm going to get in a flow and then say, hey, Kulak, you got to help mentor this kid here. We need this guy, and try to work with him. And can Paul Coffey help him out, right? And see what he's done with some other guys. So that's what I would be looking for, because I think it's virtually impossible for him to be a top 4 option for this team this year. And long term, I'm not sure, but I think he can be a third pairing option this year, and that solves one problem, or what? Not one problem, but it would solidify one pairing.
In a completely unrelated note, 21 minutes and 17 seconds for Philip Broberg, a goal, a couple of hits, 3 shot attempts, and 2 blocked shots tonight for Philip Broberg. Dylan Holloway also chipping in tonight. 2 goals for Holloway in a 5-1 win for the St. Louis Blues over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, in an unrelated note. Okay, Struds, you want to get to a relentless player? Or did I maybe just do it? I might have just done it with Dylan Holloway, but let's get to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. Yeah. Tackle all your fall yard work with a new ride. Oh, wait a minute. UCAN Youth Services. Of course, we know them and love them. They're our charitable partner here on the podcast, doing a great job taking youth in the community, getting them off the streets, and getting them back into the workforce. So our relentless player tonight brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. Struds?
Yeah, I think I was going to go back to that game with St. Louis and the Leafs. Obviously, it was the first time that Craig Berube will have played against those guys, his old team they won a Stanley Cup with. And I was going to go with both the kids, both Broberg and Dylan Holloway. Between them, they had 3 goals, which is a pretty nice thing that the others probably would like. The only downside of the whole night was Dylan Holloway had a rough night in the face-off dot, 27%. So it's going to have to go to the Rob Brown school of winning face-offs here at some point. But those 2 guys, they've had a great start to the year, and it's hard, I think, for Oilers fans to see that happening when you see, could you have those 2 guys in your lineup now? And I know things have to move around, but they're looking pretty good so far to start there. And with what's his name, Robert Thomas out.
Robert Thomas out. Yeah, Holloway's going to get a lot of ice time at center ice.
Yeah, a lot of center. So that's, I don't know, I'm going to call it 20 minutes, Brownie, a night, I guess, for a number 1 center. Lots of opportunity there.
It is. I think both those players, one of the biggest things, I know the money was one thing, but it was opportunity. And they both got fantastic opportunities in St. Louis, and right now both of them are taking advantage of it.
Yeah. Ro Nelson says, oh my God, Ryan, you're talking like Emberson is a pedigree first rounder. He's an NHL defender on his 4th organization and waived as a 3rd pick by Arizona. We are not talking about the next Charlie Huddy. So Ro feeling like I'm overestimating Emberson. I guess my point is that if you look at his numbers last year on a tough San Jose team, he played basically in a number 4 position and didn't do too terribly bad. And of the players they have as options to maybe grow into that role to last from now to the trade deadline, he might be the best option of the 3 players that they currently have competing for that spot, Ro. So my suggestion is keep him in the lineup, let him keep building his game, and he's probably got as good a shot as either of the other 2 of fitting in that spot long term, but we will see. Steve, hop in, buddy. Let's get to our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Helping you play better golf since '99 with their TrackMan fitting bays, instruction, after-sales support, merchandise, and clothing. Check out the Pro Shop Style Atmosphere at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton.
How's it going, Shocker? How you doing, buddy?
It's a little bumpy tonight, bud. A little bumpy. And I came in with good energy.
When did.
We all hopped onto the chat. Struddy came in with a giant yawn. Brownie was kind of preoccupied, complaining about his TV, and I came in a great mood. And then my board crapped out, and I can't talk. So
it's all good. It's all good. We're back. We're back now. Everything's feeling good. Okay, the poll tonight, the DeBoer's poll. The question is, if you could bring back any single player along with their current cap hit, magically bring this player back, who would it be?
Oh.
So,
that's easy. That's easy. Wayne Gretzky.
He's not one of the options in the poll tonight. So the 4 choices were Broberg, who's obviously 4.6 schmil. Yeah. Holloway at 2.3. CC, I think CC's 3.25. And then the Bison King with $800,000. So you got to bring back this player along with everything that goes along with it.
That's a good pull.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
I like that one. I like that one. You got an early thought there, Brownie?
Oh, I picked Broberg, because Broberg's a guy that's going to be a top 4 defenseman for the next 10 years. So that would be my guy. I know he makes too much now, but a year from now, that might not be. He might be making less than he's probably deserving. So he would make this other team a lot better.
That's the thing. You got to move.
You got to think of what you'd have to subtract, though. Struds, what do you think?
I don't care.
Yeah, trying to fit him in. That's the hard part, right? Isn't that Puljujarvi?
It would have been CC and Kulak. CC and Kulak would have had to go to fit Broberg in at that cap hit, plus more.
Yeah.
No, there'd be. I'd keep Kulak. There'd be someone up front. I'd probably a contract or 2 up front. I get rid of. It wouldn't be Kulak.
We can't keep.
All right, good stuff.
Something's got to go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that was the breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. When we come back, we'll talk a little team captaincy at the 4 Nations. McDavid, point blank. That idea brought up to him today, and he was very quick to answer that one. We'll let you hear that sound, as well as Sidney Crosby's reaction and a conversation with the Bison King. This has Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
All right, time now for takeaways, brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. Tackle all your yard work with a new ride from Horizon Ag and Turf. Year-end savings are now available on John Deere Gator side-by-sides and John Deere compact utility tractors. Visit Horizon Ag and Turf online or at one of their 13 locations. They got great coverage all across Alberta. Horizon Ag and Turf, your local John Deere experts. Sidney Crosby in town, which means we're always going to have that McDavid and Crosby conversation. But one of the things us media group got chatting about before the Oilers, well, as the Oilers were on the ice, was the captaincy for Team Canada at the Four Nations, guys. And I know we talked a little bit about it on the show earlier on this year, about who it should be, who it could be. And the obvious answer and the easy answer and the answer that everyone's going to give is Sidney Crosby. But we got into a pretty good discussion about it, and maybe we'll entertain a couple of different parts of that discussion afterwards. But let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here, and a couple of clips from Connor McDavid today regarding that, and then a response from Sidney Crosby here.
A lot of leaders on that team. Does it matter who wears the C?
Should be said for sure. That's not even a question.
You just expound on that a little bit. Why does that come so easily to you?
It's just how it should be. He's Sidney Crosby, and he's been there so many times, and he's the guy. I think it's not like I've thought about it a lot. It's just such a no-brainer.
I appreciate that. I think that being a little bit more experienced, maybe he's given me that. But he's obviously a great leader, and he's done so much for the team here and for Canada as well. So, I think anytime you're looked to wear a letter, whether it's a C or an A, or be a part of Team Canada, it's a great honor regardless. But I appreciate that.
So, word today, when Team Canada names the rest of the team in December, likely they'll name a captain that day as well. So this feels like a no-brainer, Struds. But the one point that I was interested in exploring a little bit was, who does Sidney Crosby think the captain should be, right? What if Sidney Crosby felt that, you know what, Connor's the man right now. He's the man in the game. Everybody knows that he's the man in the game right now. And if Crosby decided like, it might be time to pass the torch a little bit here. That's the only way that this would ever happen. Brownie's just shaking his head like crazy.
Well,
there.
no,
so let's go first.
Doesn't make sense. It makes no sense what you're saying.
I agree with you, Brownie.
Exactly,
just say it.
But it's exactly, you brought this up with us before a few podcasts ago. And Struds and I gave you the answer the exact same way Connor McDavid said, without thinking. Like it's Crosby. This is a no-brainer. He's won World Junior, World Cup, World Championship, Olympic gold, 3 Stanley Cups. There is no one, and he's not giving the captaincy away. This is all about who is the best person to lead this Team Canada at the Four Nations, and it isn't. There is no debate on this. There's not a conversation. And Connor McDavid said it best. I didn't even have to think about it. It's Sidney Crosby. So to me, media can debate it all they want. The players in the dressing room know there's one true leader, and this is a team of leaders. Half the team is captains on their teams and great leaders like McKinnon's and players like that. But this is Sidney Crosby. Of course he's the captain of this team, Strides.
It's tied 2-2 going to a third period against the Americans in the final. Who do you think they're looking around to talk to who's been through it before? And there's a lot of to be great players, and they're not going to say, hey, you, what do you think? Oh, you've never been there before. What about you? You've never done it before? The one thing we talk about this Oilers team, they keep wanting to bring players in who've been to the final, who've won Stanley Cups. It's because you know what to expect. Doesn't mean you're a better player, better person. Doesn't mean you're taller or smarter or anything. It means you have experience. So I don't even think this is even worth debating. It's Sidney Crosby all the way. All the way. And if he goes to the Olympics, it's Sidney Crosby again, because he's been through it before. It makes a difference having been through those moments before.
100%.
Like Scott Niedermayer had it in 2010, and then the mantle was passed to Sidney Crosby. 2014 was the Olympics where he had the captaincy. But the difference there was that Scott Niedermayer wasn't on that team in 14, right? So the previous captain, it's not like they played together. It was kind of when Scott was done, Struds, that, that's when it sort of naturally progressed over to Sidney Crosby. The difference here, like McDavid's pretty deep into his career. And so this being his kind of first opportunity, I agree with everything you guys are saying. And the truth is that, it likely to be Sidney Crosby. But the interesting part for me is just the idea that, at the Olympics, is it, and you guys said it would be him as well. But, is it like at what point does it pass over? And at the Olympics, is that time? Would that be the time for McDavid to assume the role?
Well, he's going to assume the role as the best player on the ice. That doesn't matter if he has a C or A on his shirt. I mean, every one of those guys is a captain. So it's not like, okay, now I get to be the C, so now I can really bring it tonight. It's Sidney Crosby's your captain. If Sidney Crosby's on the Olympic team, then Sidney Crosby's your captain. You don't need to pass a torch. It doesn't make the team better or Connor McDavid better if all of a sudden he's wearing the C and Sidney isn't. It just these guys are playing for the flag. They're playing for the Canadian Maple Leaf. They don't care who the C is, but every one of them knows that the leader of that team is Sidney Crosby, and deservedly so. He's won everything. He's one of the few guys that has won everything. And as Strud said, when you're at some point in a series, in a game, anytime, Sidney Crosby's been there. So you can say, okay, what do we do? Or when Sidney Crosby stands up and talks, guess what? That room is dead quiet. So to me, Crosby's the captain until Crosby's not playing.
I feel like there's a segment of the Canadian fans that want to have a Lion King moment where Sidney Crosby walks out to a tall arena and lifts Connor up in the air. Like, that's what I feel like people want. It doesn't work like that. There's not a moment where like the sun rises and there's like, hey, I'm here, big boy. Like, I'm here to do it. It's not the way it works. The Leafs did it that way. They do it that way when they announce.
I was just going to say, isn't that what the Leafs did?
But there's a lot of things the Leafs do, but doesn't mean it's right. So it's like watching me golf. I golf, but doesn't make me like the greatest golfer, Chi Rodriguez. So what I'm saying here is that Rodriguez. So there's a lot of people that want to get out there and make this a big thing. The leadership in that group will know when it's time to things and move on. And it's not a special, massive moment where it's like, this is what it is. So Sid all the way. In the Olympics, Sid is not, I don't think Sid will go to the Olympics unless he feels he's at a high enough level to compete and be a different. If he's just going to be the 13th forward, and I'm not saying he is going to be, but if he were to say, he's smart. He looks at, he's like, I'm not as good as these guys. I'm a 13th forward. He'll be like, you know what, guys, I'm out. And that's fine. He can do that at that time. But right now, I have a hard time seeing.
I think if they want him to go as their 11th or 12th forward and go be a role player and his two-way game, you think he's going to turn him down? That he just won't go?
I think what Strud's is saying is he'll look at his game. Is his game good enough to be at that level? We both assume, me and Strud's, I imagine Strud's assumes that it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I think he's one of those players. Yeah, I think he's one of those players that he's going, okay, am I going to contribute or not? I'm not going just because of my name.
But you don't want to. This is why, Shogger, is because he wants to help the team win. He wants that team to win. Like, I don't get the sense that Sid's ego is so big that he's like, I'm going to go just so I can say I win again, and I want to be the captain. If he can go and help, he wants to go. If not, he does. I don't think he would. I don't know. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, but what happens if the appropriate place for Sidney Crosby on that team a year and 6 months from now or whatever it is as a third line center or a fourth line center? What if that's the appropriate place where he should fit in?
So you don't think a leader can be on your third line?
I never said
think a captain can be a third. No, but
that's not what I'm saying, Brownie. What I'm saying is that, like Struds is saying, if he's not going to be at a high enough level to still be what he is.
If he's, let's say
Struds is saying if he's 13th forward, if he's just barely, forward. If he's just going there because of his name, right. He wouldn't want to.
Like if he's not going to play or something,
But I think he, I don't know. I don't know him, but all the thing you hear about him, he's always doing. He does not. Have you ever seen him do the wrong thing? I don't think it's possible for him to do the wrong thing. So why would he start now? What this age? Like I don't know. Guys, I think if he pulled everyone in that dressing room, like they'd be like, yeah, I could see maybe Connor be the captain, but like it's captaincy. There's no Lion King moments in captaincy naming groups. It's just you kind of know who it is.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I agree. You ask anybody in hockey, anybody that follows Canadian hockey, ask any of the players, any of the guys. I mean, Sid has earned that, right? He has earned that every single person will say that it's got to be Sid. So no question about that. The only thing I wonder is, what does Sid think? Who does he think should be at the next Olympics? And that is the only way that any change would ever happen to me, is if that's what Crosby felt was best. Because I believe if that's what Crosby felt was best, that Sid is the type of person and player, for all these reasons you guys are just mentioning, that he would, in fact, be willing to do that. But, anyway, we'll move on. A couple times we've talked about it. I want to get to the Bison King, guys, because he's off to a pretty good start. So we'll get to our interview here in the Weiss Johnson Soundbox with Jesse Puljujarvi. Hockey season is here, so the cold is on its way. Time for a new furnace, garage heater, or hot water tank. Weiss Johnson's here for all your home comfort needs, specializing in servicing your existing systems or installing new ones. Get ready to be cozy this Oiler hockey season. Visit weiss-johnson.com today. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson,
All right, here is the Bison King. Caught up to him after a pretty healthy 70 minutes skate today down at the rink. Jesse Puljujarvi.
So, Jesse, how do you feel coming back here and getting set to play in this building? And I know things are going well for you in the early going here. How do you feel?
No, I feel good. Actually, last year I was here, but I didn't play. And now again, it's pretty weird to come here, because I played here many years, and there was time I felt like home here, and now back here, and I'm really excited to play against Oilers tomorrow, and hopefully we get some points here in Alberta.
Your coach said that he feels you are skating significantly better this year than you were last year. Do you feel the same way? And can you describe to us what you went through with your surgeries?
Yeah, for sure. That's true. Last year, after that big surgery and the rehab process was still I think still this little bit process even is over 1 year. And this summer I was not really to do rehabbing, was training. I able to get those reps in my body, and now I feel more stable, more balanced for body, and I try and find the way how my body works, and now I try to play good confidence and trust I can still play good hockey and give those where I'm good, and help the Penguins to be a good team.
When you think about yourself so young, trying to come into this league, trying to learn how to do it, and then you think about the way you play now and what you've learned, maybe compare those two players, then and now, and what you've learned. When I came here, I was a teenager, 18 years old. Didn't speak good English, and I didn't really know where I'm coming. I was high pick, and I didn't know how hard this league is, and how hard it is to stay here, and how hard it is to play good hockey, 82 games. And this has been long way to come here. There's many surgeries, many coaches, many couple teams now, and I think this is my way to find the way. This is my way to get best of me and what kind of person I am, what kind of player I am, and this is learning process every day, and I'm really happy, and I get this still opportunity to be good player in this league, and hopefully I can play this league and be a good player this league for many more years. Was there a time going through that in the last couple of years where you questioned if you'd be able to do this?
For sure, I did, but then I think I trust the process. Yeah. That those guys who helped me, those guys who did the surgery, doctors, physio, my strength training, my family, and
then I just trust the process, and and still I trust the process.
You've played with Connor McDavid. You're now playing with Sidney Crosby, obviously two of the greats of all time. Compare the two a little bit. What are each like? What are the differences?
Yeah, I think they both are really compete guys every day. Yeah. Practice, off ice, on ice, and they fire how much they want to win. That's like the highest what I've been seeing. Yeah, it's really nice to able to see those couple like world-best players ever play the game, how they do it, everything. Yeah, I enjoy to watch.
Last one for you. The fans really embraced you here. You had a really strong fan base. How do you feel about Oiler fans and the experience that you had here in this town with them?
Yeah, I really remember that I had a nice fan base here, and I felt like everything started when I went to take Elk Island and take big picture with Bison.
The Bison King was born.
Yeah, big Bison, and yeah, I really like the fan base here, and I felt, like I said, I felt here like to home, and then yeah, nice to be back here and play one game.
Glad things are going well for you, and welcome back, Jesse.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse Puljujarvi, 7 games played, a goal, 4 assists, 5 points, 10 shots, 12:02 on average per game of ice time. What do you think of that, Brownie? He talks, markedly better than he did before. Yep. He's got a handle on the language.
I love the way he says Penguins. That was funny. He's a guy you cheer for. When he was here, you cheer for him. He's a young man that enjoys life. He always had a big smile on his face, whether things were going right or wrong. There was a lot of pressure on him when he was here, and when things didn't go right, this is a tough market. Even though he had a strong fan base, he had a strong base that didn't want him around here too. And I wish him luck. I hope he has success. I hope that he is healthy now and he finds a role in the National Hockey League that he can succeed at. So he's a guy you cheer for.
Yeah, I always like Jesse, super nice guy, and I like the idea of what he could be. But even listening to his interview there, he was ill prepared to come over to North America, right? Like there was a lot of things that he probably should have stayed at home, probably should have learned the language, just so it's easier to communicate like that. And I actually blame his agent for that. He's got to prepare the guy. You're going to get drafted to the NHL. It's all English. And it's really hard. I played with guys that travel with the language. It's really, really hard to feel like you fit in, both with the team and also with the coaching staff. So that was a tough start. But right now he's being used perfectly. He's a third line right winger, man. His money is good at $800,000. You're getting a deal on him. So he's big, he can skate. And I think the days of him being a sniper, like our old buddy Dustin Nielsen wanted him to be, I think those days are gone. But it doesn't mean he can't be a 500, 600, 700 game player in the NHL, right? With that frame and that type of play style. So yeah, the Penguins got one there, right? They've got a guy there, and maybe they signed to an extension at some point, because I think this is his second year of his 2-year deal.
Playing on a line with Anthony Beauvillier, Lars Eller, I believe, based on their skate today. All right, that was Takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. When we come back, Brownie Points and Struddy's World. Stay with us.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
All right, time now for Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. The Alberta-based family-owned business opened in 1962, and their beef jerky, fantastic. Awesome. Fast shipping anywhere in Alberta. You can hop on to albertajerky.com to order yours. If you enter the code Got Your Back, that will get you 10% off. That is Hamel's Premium Jerky, a family-owned business up in Cold Lake, but that amazing beef jerky, they can get it to you anywhere in the province, and it's definitely worth ordering. Brownie, what do you have tonight, buddy?
Well, I got 92 brownie points to the TV show Mad Men. I know I'm about a decade and a half behind everybody else, but today I watched the 92nd episode, which was the finale, and I just want to say it is one of my favorite shows ever. So to Don Draper and all of those people in the office that start drinking every day at 10 a.m. while they're working, I was a big fan. So that's it. 92 points for Mad Men. I got 15, possibly 16. I haven't seen the update now. Brownie points to Cale Makar. A week ago, the Alberta native called himself out for poor play. Since then, he has now got 11 points, I believe, in his last 5 games. He leads the National Hockey League with 15 points. So Cale Makar, he's been turning it on in Colorado. And just a side note, Ivan, my new favorite player in the National Hockey League, scored a goal tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. 2 first names, Ivan. I got 22 brownie points for Lionel Messi, the football great, who's making $20.4 million this year. And that $20.4 million is more than the entire payroll of 22 other teams in the MLS. So one guy is making more than 22 entire teams. Not shocking. Wow. Lionel Messi's team in Miami is the favorites to win it all this year. I've got 6.7 brownie points to the St. Louis Blues. Everyone thought they might have been a little crazy and maybe overspent a little bit on Broberg and Holloway. But Broberg, 7 points on the season. That would be second on the Edmonton Oilers. Dylan Holloway has 3 goals on the season. That would be tied for first on the Edmonton Oilers. Dylan Holloway has 20 hits on the season. That would be first on the Edmonton Oilers. So 6.7 to the St. Louis Blues. And my last one, I have 100 brownie points to my good buddy Struds, who is rocking his purple hoodie.
I knew it.
I think every time I look at him, all I can think of is the McDonald's grimace. But your Lion King analogy was top notch. So you get 100 points for the Lion King analogy and an extra 50-point bonus for knowing the song Maramuda Buddha Bada, whatever it was, and sing it on key. So there's your next karaoke night.
Well, there it is. There it is, guys. Not pitchy at all either. I thought I was right on point.
No, it was perfect. I thought I was listening to Elton John.
No, it can't be pitchy when it's just all one note, Struds. Just da 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 da.
No, there's
Schauger, that was pitchy.
That was pitchy.
It was actually, to me, it was flat, which is worse.
I knew you were having a positive brownie points night. I don't know why. I just had a gut feeling, Struds. So you've been trailing me most of the years. I think I was still leading. I think I had maybe 125 or something. And you were minus 40 or 50, but all in one show, you just got all the brownie points back and almost pulled into a tie with me.
Well, it's a lot like people last year when Connor wasn't scoring early. Then he's like, oh, there's a scoring race again this year? You just
compared yourself to Connor McDavid. Can I take points away?
Yeah. Yes, you can. How many? Get it on the record.
I am taking away
97. Ooh, 97. You take me 97.
No, I can't take that much. You're half as good as Connor, so I'm going to take away 48.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
48
he
and a half.
only got 101.5 brownie points today.
Yeah, but let's be honest, guys.
Whoever's
If
keeping
Connor and I are in a room, unless we're dealing with hockey, I'd be more entertaining. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, he can do a lot of things well, but when it comes to just entertainment value, I'm like Mr. Rogers. I'm holding court, getting things organized, making things happen.
Mr. Rogers, he was like
Mr.
the
Rogers,
most chill, laid back. I mean, it was for children. That was children's entertainment.
But he could hold people's attention and then wore a nice sweater.
7-year-olds.
Okay. Well,
you're more like Eddie Murphy when he played Mr. Rogers on Saturday Night Live. That was who you're more like.
That's funny. Okay, let's roll the intro. Time for Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
God, I look good.
That'll be part of the intro soon. Time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, with locations in Calgary and Edmonton. If you're a homeowner, a contractor, a builder, DLR is the most reliable source for vinyl fence. Opened in 2005 and not going anywhere because they've got great products. Maintenance-free vinyl fencing. You don't have to sand, you don't have to paint, you don't have to stain. It's awesome. Give them a call now if you want to even think about putting it in early next year. You can get the ball rolling on it and get plans in place. DLRvinylproducts.ca.
Yeah, get no respect.
Right.
You know what? I try to eat healthy. Like, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest eater, but I try to eat healthy. The other day, my wife brought, I don't even know where she got them from. She brought some chips home. And she opened them up and we're having lunch together. You know, nice, nothing's like a romantic lunch over some salami sandwiches. And she put some chips on the side and they weren't good, but I ate them. And then I hate myself for this, but I found the bag and I ate the rest of them and they were awful. I would have had more flavor if I had eaten the cereal boxes that hold my kids' favorite cereal in the back. It was terrible. And after I was done, I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I eat something that's so bad, tastes so bad, or actually has no flavor and is putting calories in my body? So I made a decision. I'm no longer going to do that. Even if it's a treat, what people would call a treat, if I don't like it, I'm not having it anymore. It's like if I went to your house, you give me offer me pumpkin pie. I'm like, you know what? Hold the calories. I'll just drink some water or wine. Like, I don't mind wine, but like, I don't enjoy it enough to really pound the calories in there. So I'm like, hold the wine. You know, I know Jesus was into it, but I'm going to do something else. Maybe I'll have a rye Coke or something like that. Or perhaps it was something like lemon meringue pie. I don't like that either. I'm no longer going to indulge in things that don't taste good, and if they have those extra calories in it. So just more than a health and wellness moment here in this feature today. But don't do it, people. Don't eat stuff that you're just eating it to eating it. It doesn't even taste good. It doesn't make sense. So that's my new motto. We'll see how long I last. So far, I'm at 24 hours.
Buddy, I'm going to give you a hallelujah on that. You know, as a guy that struggles with consuming too much stuff that I know I just shouldn't be. Right. And a lot of it is stuff that there's just no point because I don't even like it that much. I'm right with you on this one, buddy. I am feeling this Struddy's world. Brownie's not. Brownie looks confused.
No, I only eat stuff that I like. Like, I don't eat vegetables because they're gross. I go to Subway. I don't put veggies on my Subway. Like, I don't eat things I don't like. Like tonight, I had to go buy some Bounce sheets because I was doing the laundry. So I stopped at Dairy Queen for a Blizzard. I like Blizzards. Not good for me, but I like them and I'm going to eat them. I don't eat stuff that I don't like. So yeah, I applaud you, Struds, for deciding not to eat things that you don't like. But I've never really, if I don't like something, I just don't eat it. And then I go find something that I do like. It's like when my wife goes away and I'm looking after the kids, I'm making banana chocolate chip pancakes for dinner because I like those.
But I guess my point is this: if you're going to eat calories, put it into things you like or are healthy for you. And I'm a Dairy Queen guy too, but I actually changed it up the other day. I went with my daughter, instead of getting a Blizzard, which I usually get, I got a peanut butter parfait. And I said, hold the peanuts. She said, excuse me. I'm like, you heard me. Keep those peanuts over there. I don't want your nuts anywhere close to my Blizzard or to my parfait. And it was delicious. So I think I'm going to shift over now to parfaits and hold the nuts. So good.
I'm not sure those are considered healthy though. Like you're leaving the Blizzard to go to the parfait. Like, it's not like you're going, I'm going to have like the carrot puree instead. It's like.
No, I'm not saying, but I'm saying things I enjoy. Like I love Blizzards, but I just recently changed. So totally different conversation, new paragraph.
I'm a cookie dough Blizzard guy. And now I went from getting the kid size. It's like 7 or 8 bites. So you'd feel okay about yourself. So I did that. And then the next time I went through, I was like, no, I'm moving up to a small. So now I'm ordering the smalls all the time.
Ooh.
Like it's not a good.
I'm a medium. And it doesn't, and I don't get home. Like I'll go get for the family and mine is done before I come in the house. It's just like I eat it as I drive home because I can't sit and watch it. I have to eat it, but it's always a medium.
But medium's the floor for me. Like sometimes I'll just say I'm gonna have my lunch is a large Blizzard, and I don't waste it on anything else. That's the facts actually.
That's actually a lot not a bad call. If you're gonna eat garbage, just eat it as one of your 3 meals.
That's right. Well, because it's like I kind of go for Weight Watchers.
Yeah, I'm trying to shed some pounds off too right now. I set a goal for myself, and I've been tracking it for the last 5 weeks, I think. I want to eat, of my 21 meals a week, I want to try and be able to classify 15 of them as like, I ate pretty good. Like not dumb. I didn't gorge myself. I stopped eating when I wasn't hungry, and I didn't eat complete crap. So my goal is 15 to 21 meals, and I think I've hit it once in the 5 weeks that I've been working on it.
Well, how is that hard? Like breakfast is easy. You should get 7 that are locked in for breakfast. Like you shouldn't have any empty or anything bad for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's the easiest one. And then you got 14
and
more.
That has been the easiest one. Yeah, that has been the easiest one. There's a little power oatmeal,
4 good
that
lunches.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Now you're at 11.
Yeah, lunch is tough, right?
Go after that.
Lunch is tough because you're out and about and you're on the move. Like not everybody just lays around at home after the kids go to school and you're done on the ice struds. Like like lunch is hard. You're on the move. You're out and about.
Do you have to go through fast food? Can you not go get a sandwich? That at least
No, I don't do fast food necessarily. No, I don't necessarily do fast food. I don't do a lot of fast food. For lunch? I do almost none. Yeah, but I'm talking about like
chipper.
No, not chips at all. I don't do a lot of that. It's more sweets for me when it goes off the rails. But now I don't know. I just you want like a salad would be like I keep lots of salads in the fridge. Just try and come home, have a salad, something like that. But if you're into like I don't know, whether you're grabbing a wrap from somewhere or something. I don't know. I have trouble with lunch. It's my biggest problem of all the meals.
But wraps aren't that unhealthy. What kind of wraps are you getting? Like a ranch wrap?
I don't know. I just
a tube of ranch.
Brownie, you don't put any veggies on no veggies on your sub at all? Just nothing?
Oh,
no, just mayonnaise,
bread and sauce.
Bread, mayonnaise, and meat and cheese. Yeah. I do get weird looks from the people making it, the sandwich makers, whatever they're called. But yeah, no, never have veggies. Yeah, I only got so much room in my belly. I'm not going to waste it on veggies. That's it. Sandwich artists.
They're artists.
You don't need an artist to do mine.
Yeah.
No, they get to draw things with mayonnaise because there's so much room on it now.
You know what I like to do? I like to document all your lunches and then tell us what they are next week. I want to know what every lunch because I want to know how it's so hard to have a sandwich. Just you go get a pita. Just say I'll have a turkey pita with some veggies on the side, and I'll walk out.
Yeah, no, it should be easier than it is. It definitely should be easier than it is.
Shogger, I think you look fantastic. Shogger, don't change a thing.
No,
don't change a thing.
Thanks, buddy.
You look good.
You know what?
Yep.
Okay. I do too. I'm going to reward myself with some post-podcast Dairy Queen for sure.
And that's from the guy with Desi vegetables.
Take nutrition advice. Okay, Brownie, you're done, buddy. Thanks for hanging in a little longer tonight. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Miss you guys already.
Likewise.
Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. All right, we'll get to Ask Us Anything in just a minute, but let's get to our scoreboard, brought to you by Canadian Club. In honor of the founding year of their Canadian Club Distillery, 1858, the all-new Canadian Club Classic, 18-year-old high proof, comes in at 58% ABV for all you whiskey aficionados out there. Highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date It is full-bodied, aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish. It really is awesome. You can go to liquorconnect.com, by the way, because it's just new on the shelves here in Alberta, this CC18. So if you go to liquorconnect.com and you can type in Canadian Club 18, and then it'll show you the stores that have actually ordered it so you can find it. Struds, let's get the scoreboard going, buddy.
Yeah, we'll start out east. The Blues beat the Leafs 5-1. As we mentioned, former Oilers, Holloway and Broberg combined for 3 goals in that bad boy, so that felt pretty good. Not ideal for the Leafs. That's now 2 games. They lost decisively to Columbus, and then they lose to the Blues.
Snap on the bench there too, hey, from Berube. Little snap on the bench at Matthews, and
little frustration there. So I'm actually doing overdrive tomorrow. So I mean, this couldn't be better time to be going on to overdrive. What a treat.
They may or may not have access to the Rodney Dangerfield impersonation. I cannot confirm nor deny if they've been given that.
Yeah. And if I say something mean about them, they're probably going to fire me anyway. So we'll see. I won't make it to 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Legs.
Wild. They take on Tampa Bay tonight, and they won 4-2. Kirill had dollar bill. Kirill had 2 goals and an assist, so he's doing an unbelievable job there. Some people feel he might be in line for the Hart Trophy. A little bit closer to home.
4-0-2.
Yeah, 4-0. Is that no? They're 5-0-2, aren't they? Or no? Are they 4?
Or are they? Have I not? I've got 4-0-2 here, but maybe this didn't update properly.
Okay, you might be right, buddy. Yeah, they're doing really well. And keep in mind, that's with $15 million of dead cap space. That's almost 16% of their debt. That's just crazy. Closer at home, some of these games just went into the third period. Avalanche 4-0 over Utah. Utah, I think they're starting to feel it, Schauger. No Jersey and no Johnny Marino, 2 D men. They made moves for this off season. It's maybe starting to pinch them a bit. And then the Hurricanes, who beat the Oilers on Tuesday, are up 3-1 kind of 15 minutes ago in the third period. So Oilers back out tomorrow against the Penguins. Looking forward to that. Sydney versus the big boy, Connor.
Yep, should be a good one. We'll have a post-game pod after that as well. That was our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. Steve, why don't you hop on in here, buddy, get the results of the poll ready to go, and get everything ready from our YouTube stream for Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. With news of the Bank of Canada lowering their rates, it's the perfect time to revisit your mortgage options if you need to renew or just get some papers signed up. Maria Gallus with Maximal Mortgages can just take care of finding you the best rates, work with your best interests in mind. Randy and I work with her. She's done a bunch of work for us. She's efficient, always has answers, gets back to you quick. She's great. So contact Maria today at mortgagesbymaria.ca and tell her that Got Your Back sent you. Steve-O, how are we doing tonight, buddy? How's the mood on the stream?
I forgot for a second there that I'm supposed to be in the big window. Look at that.
Yeah, you get the big box, buddy. There you are. I hear you're getting recognized about town.
Well, yeah, it happened once, and I just like to rub it into Zuby because we live in the same neighborhood. So, the fact that it happened to me and not him is just brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on, I'm just resizing this here. But Cutlass Supreme says, thanks for the podcast. I was dreading my workout, and this helped me power through. Way to have our backs. We've got Mick Fosidle.
Cutlass.
Yeah, I think we've inspired some people with the diet talk, myself included. Mick Fosidle says, no breakfast till noon, intermittent fasting. I'm not that guy. I can't do that either.
Can't do it. I will strangle people, Struds. I will strangle people if I don't eat before 11 o'clock.
100%. Yeah. You know what I have started doing a little bit, though, is MCT oil. You know the MCT oil, like the coconut oil, in my morning coffee, and that makes a big difference. I don't get hungry till a lot later. Yeah. We can chat offline. Northern Farm Girl chimes in and says, Ryan, your weight is fine. You're looking like Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hey.
Yeah, because he's got that hairline.
It's just one person's opinion.
Yeah. Thanks, Northern Farm Girl. Appreciate it.
Okay, moving on to more serious stuff. Todd Gack, when we were discussing the Bison King, I think a lot of fans are curious about this. So he says, does Jesse go for dinner with any of the boys? Is the relationship not there? So Strud's like, you've played for different teams. You've gotten close to players. You go into cities that you're not in often. Do you hang out with the guys? Do you see them, or is it a quick hello after the game?
Yeah, Yeah, it's more maybe seeing them in the morning of the game, or after the game you get together and say hi. I guess it depends how long you're. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that Jesse really go with anybody, and it's not just him. Like it was pretty rare when I go with the other team when I played. And I played on a number of teams, but usually after the game you try to hook up and go see them, see their wife, type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Probably hang with his new teammates, I would think.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, some stranger says, would those guys have scored? He's talking about Holloway and Broberg if they were still with the Oilers. So in other words, how much more opportunity are they getting with the Blues than they would have with the Oilers? I mean, obviously, Oilers fans, we look at their points, we look at their goals, and we get jealous. But is that just a product of who they're playing with right now in the games they've had? Schauger.
Probably a good chance that Dylan Holloway would be on the second line by now, Struds. I mean, and I guess depending on whether Jeff Skinner were here or not, if Holloway were here. But I mean, I felt like Holloway was going to start the year as a third-line player, and he was going to push his way up, much like he did in the postseason. Philip Broberg was scheduled to play the right side if he returned with the Oilers, and I'm not sure if that would have gone the same for him. Young D needs to play the left side. That's where he's most comfortable right now. What do you think, Struds?
I think we got the same on ice time. He would have been a 20-minute a night. Like, look who he's competing against. So the minutes are the same. The offside, yeah, maybe wouldn't have been the same, but yeah, I think he would have been playing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one thing we didn't touch on today, Brett B says, thoughts on the Canada jersey. So the Four Nations, 4 jerseys were revealed today. Do you guys have thoughts? I thought they were all pretty straightforward and classy and kind of what you'd expect, but what do you guys think?
Did you see it, Struds?
I did see them, yeah. And I love the Americans. I thought the Canadians was just kind of average. Yeah, I don't think they were the best. They're not bad. They're just, I like the Americans just because that blue. It looks very sharp, very strong. I really like it. So, you, Schauger?
Yeah, I saw it briefly on SportsCenter, so I'm just taking another look there. And there's the picture of Sid in the jersey. If anybody out there hasn't seen it, which way can I move that? So if anybody out there hasn't seen it, the white lines through the Canada crest there. Yeah, I don't mind Canada's. I'm okay with it. I prefer, and that's a little maybe vintage sort of feel with the off-white sort of lines there and stuff. I like the really simple, plain, clean lines on the Canadian jersey when it's just like the hard red and then the leaf. I prefer it a little more simple.
Love the Swedish one. I love their colors.
Yeah,
it's so good. So good.
Let me see if I can find that one. Go ahead, Steve.
K-Gill, 39, asked this question a few times, so I'll see if you guys have any thoughts. But he said, I heard that the Oilers development team, Dave Manson mostly, liked Vinny more than than Broberg. And it's been said he wanted to be traded after Vinny got a chance over him. True? This is funny to me because as an Oilers fan, before I started working for the team, like anytime someone leaves the team, it's almost like fans need to have a reason that it happened. You know what I mean? It's not just as straightforward as, and so you hear these stories and you latch onto them. But any thoughts on that being true?
Yeah, so I'll start there, Struds. Like there was a trade request last year, and it was after, Philip Broberg spent a bunch of time up with the big team, but wasn't playing. He just wasn't playing, and there was no clear plan for his development. He didn't make the team out of camp. We all know why. But then he went, I can't remember how many days it was, how many games he played in how many days, but he wasn't getting minutes in either league. And so that's where the trade request came from. Whether it had anything to do with Vinny Desharnais or not, or who preferred who, I don't know, but just follow the trail with Philip Broberg's games played and ask yourself, how much sense did that make for a developing defenseman? And he did want out at a certain point. And then after that, Struds, he got sent down to the American League. And he gutted it out there. He just played the rest of the year basically there until he got called back up and played amazing in the playoffs.
Yeah, I have no idea if that's true. I can't even begin to comment on that. But, I would look at it and think I'm a different style of D-man than Vinny, right? What he does, I don't do, and vice versa. So I don't know that. I mean, you may be frustrated he's being called up instead of you, but I like long term, I wouldn't be thinking, oh yeah, this guy's going to take my spot, right? Like, so it's obviously worked out for him. He made the right choice, and the money was always the right choice. You can't walk away from $9 million, but on the ice, it's working out for him, and I think that's a really good thing for him.
There's a lot of chat tonight about the lack of development for Oilers players and just patience with Oilers players developing. And Brett B chimed in and said, "I have faith that JJ is going to turn around the development side of the Oilers." Have you seen anything with the commitment that he has to developing young players, Schauger, compared to before?
Yeah. So I mean, Stan Bowman made some hires on the player development side. They've added some salary, I would say, and bringing in people that are going to focus on working with recently drafted players. I think they're going to spend more time looking for college free agents that can step in and potentially be a little bit more active on that front. Organizationally, I mean, they'd be crazy not to look at it and go, we need to do a better job of this. So yeah, I think they probably will, and I think we're seeing it with Noah Philp right now because I think they chose development over immediate need. Noah Philp probably made this team out of camp, but they want the long-term development of this player to be safeguarded. So he's in the AHL, and I think he'll stay there for a while. So very early signs, Struds, but I would say it's pointed in that direction.
Yeah, 100%. And you thought, or everything you said, exactly what I think. So let's just leave it there. You nailed it.
Good. A couple more, Steve, and then we'll wrap up the poll.
Okay, well, I was actually going to wrap up the poll right now.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, so the question in the poll, once again, was if you could bring back any single player along with their current cap hit, who would it be? We had 120 people vote, and somewhat surprisingly, but also not surprisingly, Broberg came in on top at 59%. Again, I don't know who you're moving to bring in Broberg's cap hit, but that's for the fans to decide, I suppose. The
bottom line, based on his start, people would feel that cap hit, like when they signed him to that, Struds, I think a lot of people were like, holy smokes, right? But in the early going here, I don't think the narrative on Broberg this year is necessarily going to be his cap hit. So, and I think Oiler fan definitely senses that too.
Coming in at second was Holloway at 26%. Obviously, we'd love to have Holloway and his speed and all that. Ceci at 10% and only 4%, sadly, for the Bison King.
All right. Well, we'll see how he does tomorrow night. I hope he plays well. Hope he goes out there and plays well and shows well in front of Oiler fans. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. Time to get to our Gallery Dental play of the day. From air polisher cleanings to advanced treatments, Gallery Dental offering that full range of service to keep your smiles healthy and beautiful. An experienced team that's dedicated to giving you personalized care with the latest technology, making sure you get the best treatment possible. Contact Gallery Dental, YEG.com. Struddy?
Big story this week was Bruins closed Jim Montgomery kind of going after Brad Marchand on the bench, kind of pretty intense discussion. And Brad Marchand today kind of chimed in on his thoughts about it. And Schauger, I believe you have the clip. Let's hear what Captain Brad has to say.
Yeah, one last time to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Here's Brad Marchand.
I mean, people are very, very sensitive these days. And, there's a lot of, it's unfortunate how coaches are scrutinized over things like that. There's a lack of accountability nowadays because, people can't handle the heat. And you make a mistake like that, you deserve to hear about it. I'm glad that he said something about it. If he didn't, we would have a much bigger issue. So.
Yeah, I like it, buddy. I like it because, the part of it that's a little bit rare is to see a coach lean forward and kind of give a guy a little nudge like, hey, are you hearing me? We don't see that a lot. This guy didn't even bat an eye at it. And I know your generation, our generation wouldn't have either, Struds, but it's not necessarily like that anymore.
No, it's not. But I honestly, when it's a respectful type situation, it looks hot, but it's when you go over the boundaries and becomes really disrespectful is when it becomes a problem long-term. Short-term, it might be a little bit of hard feelings, but you get over it because if you're worth anything as a hockey player, you'll recognize your coach was probably right.
Yeah, 100%. All right, good stuff. That was the play of the day brought to you by Gallery Dental. That'll wrap up the show, folks. Struds, nice job tonight, buddy. Much appreciated.
Good times. I can't wait to see the game tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. By the way, Hall of Fame night. Craig McTavish, Randy Gregg going into the Oilers Hall of Fame. So there'll be a ceremony. There'll be a press conference in the afternoon, and then I believe a ceremony before the game. So should be an interesting one tomorrow night to see Mac T and Randy Gregg being honored. Thanks to all of you for joining us on the live stream. Steve, good job back there, buddy. We will check in tomorrow night after the Oilers and the Penguins are complete. Have a great finish to your Thursday, everybody. Talk soon.